All right, guys, so I'm going to be giving a brief lesson to reiterate what we did in class today. I say it will be brief, but maybe it'll end up being 10 minutes. Who knows? We'll see where we get to. So, today in class, we learned about graphing sets of real numbers and all the rules. So, what's most important to remember is that if I'm giving you the sets of real numbers, you're getting a line connecting the parts that I'm telling you to connect. Where if we have natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers, those get the dots, those shaded in dots. Or if it's a beginning with the set, you might have an open circle, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So then you're going to determine your endpoints. So this could be a point or an arrow, and we'll see that later. And then we have to see what points have to be included or excluded. And your endpoints and your included and excluded points can be interchangeable. You can choose to do what points are included first and then figure out your endpoints, so on and so forth. So an important part that you saw in the last ed puzzle is that inclusive, if I say the word inclusive, that means included. It's going to be a closed circle. I like to say that if you're included in something, if I asked you, are you a part of this? You'd check it off. You'd circle it in on a survey. If I said, are you a part of this? And you're not, you're excluded. You would leave it open. You would leave it blank. So that's a good way to memorize what those two terms mean. Moving along, we're going to talk about greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than equal to. So if it is greater than or less than, the point will be open. And I like to say, if you have greater than 5 apples, that's not saying you have 5 apples only. That's saying you have more. So you can't circle in or say it's just 5. That means you're going to have more. So you're going to leave it open to say that it's not 1. It's more than that. If it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, it's going to be closed. You have that word equal. So whenever you see the word equal, that means it's close. It's a part of it, equal. And then I say, when do we have the arrow at the end? You have the arrow at the end if it's the greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, or less than, equal to, because it keeps on going. So if I say greater than 5, that could be 1 billion. That could be any number on that side. So you have to put an arrow to continue. You don't just stop on the number line. So this is when we got into drawing some of them. So I'll get to that, and then we'll be done with this mini lesson. So I'll choose this one on here. And we got this one for now. And I'll draw these for us, just so we can see what's going on. So these are the steps. You draw a number line. As you can tell, my number line's not as pretty. 1, 2, 3, 4. -1, -2, -3, -4. All that matters is you get the numbers that we're asking for within this. So it says, look like for the real numbers greater than 1. I showed you on the last slide that greater than means an open circle and on 1. So we have greater than. Real numbers means we shade. And when we have greater than, we put a nice big arrow on it. For down here, what do we think the number line would look like for integers? Greater than or equal to -2. And this is going to be the same thing as if I said less than, but just going in the opposite direction. So we're saying greater than or equal to -2. So because it has the equal to, we put a dot. Because it's an integer, we put dots, dots, all the way up to what you did. And then once again, because that is greater than, we have a big arrow. Where it becomes a little bit challenging is when we have problems like these. So I'll do the including and excluding. It's the same thing when we're dealing with integers, whole numbers, natural numbers. And then I'm going to do another one of the set of natural numbers less, we'll say, between -1 and 3. So if I do the first one, we have the set of integers between, doesn't want to draw, set of integers between 0 and 3. So we could just draw the 3, but let's just make it a proper. So between 0 and 3, including 3. So if it's including 3, we have a dot. If it's excluding 3, we have an open circle. And because it's integers, we will put it there. And that's all you have to do. So when you see the word between, you start and you end somewhere. When you see greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, that's when you need the arrow. And then this one was a little bit of a trick one, but this is why I want to show you it. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. So instead of natural numbers between -1 and 3, I forgot, let's put inclusive. So if we do that, we will have -3 with a dot on it. And then if we keep going, we have, +3. +3 with a dot on it, +2 with a dot on it, +1. And that's all we're going to have because 0 and -1 are not natural numbers. From our definitions from before, you know that it goes from 1 and up. So that's all you're going to have. Some people like to put an open circle on -1 just to show that it is from -1 to 3. All right, so that is my mini lesson on today. If you have any questions, please email me.